After registering the kit in Canvas Workspace, you will have a new pattern library and some extra tools to work with. These tools are only available for use in the installed version of Canvas Workspace, and so the online and tablet editions will not be shown in this lecture. New features added include the ability to add a weeding box to shapes or tile larger designs. Let's take a look at each of those now. First, we'll take a look at the pattern library that comes with the kit. As you can see, there are lots of very detailed designs perfect for cutting with vinyl, even some much larger designs which I will talk about when I come on to discuss the tiling feature. First, let's look at the weeding box. Generally, if I cut this from a sheet of vinyl, we would have the whole backing to peel away and get rid of. To economize and save wastage, we can now use Canvas Workspace to add a weeding box around these shapes. First, I would select the shapes, then go into the Edit tab, scroll to the bottom and click on Weeding Box. We are then presented with a range of options on how to apply the weeding box. There are various different parameters that we can use to decide what shape the weeding box is and how big it is. I will leave it set on Optimize the weeding lines. I will leave the minimum spacing set as it is, and I will turn off No weeding lines in grouped objects by unchecking this box. When I click OK, we can see that cutting lines and weeding boxes have been placed around each object that was selected. In the Layers tab, we can see how these are formed. So we have a large rectangle around the entire area, and then individual lines separating out each shape. If I get rid of this collection, select the objects again, ungroup them as they have been grouped, and then select everything so that they've got individual boxes around them. Go back to my weeding box settings and check this box, and then reapply that weeding box selection. You can see that the lines between these grouped objects don't appear. It's something to keep in mind if that's what you need in your cutting file results. Now, if you're going to use the tiling feature, don't use the weeding box from the Edit menu. We will use the weeding option in the tiled settings later. Let me get rid of this and bring on one of the larger designs. So we can see here, this design is much too large for a 12 by 12 cutting mat. Previously, we would have had to have cut this down either by applying a rectangle and using the divide function or some other method. What we can do now is go to our Artboard tab. From the Artboard size settings, choose Custom Size for Tiling, and then from the Premium menu, activate the tiling options. We can see now that this design has been split into two sizes or two parts that will each fit onto a 12 by 12 cutting mat. We'll need to give it a name. Then we'll choose the size of material that we are cutting from. So whether it's a 12 by 12 sheet, a 12 by 24, an A4, or some other size. And what will happen is the software will work out how many parts it needs to create for that particular size. If we need there to be a small overlap, we can apply that here. And if necessary, the software will create additional mats. As I mentioned before, if we need to add a weeding box to a tile design, we would do that here. We can again set the spacing from the edge of the design to the edge of the weeding box. When we have made all of the changes that we need, we click on Export, find the file or folder, that we need to save to, and click Select Folder. This will then automatically save out each mat as an individual cutting file. And now we can see here that we have our two Dreamcatcher cutting files ready to load up and transfer to our cutting machine.